On day one.
I guess your concern level of losing Ben Johnson. We're going 100% to lose this guy to a head coaching job at some point. Unless we find some pictures of him doing blackface.
Pictures of him in blackface.
And maybe we send Fish on the mission.
Maybe we send Fish on a mission.
The same mission we gotta send him in for Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Hop in bed, get a couple pictures.
Yeah, it's all. Fish would be down.
I'd hope so because
it's for the good of the city.
It really is.
Yeah.
Do you think he's like going next year though? Obviously, we know he's like what he is to us.
I don't think it's going to be. I think he'll be the Lions' offensive coordinator next season.
Yeah.
But after that, I don't know. It gets pretty loose after that, especially if he puts up similar numbers.
JB,
what's up?
Where you at, Ben Johnson? Would you forgive him if we made him do blackface just to stay here as our offensive coordinator?
If that keeps him here, I'm happy with it. I will accept it. I would accept it this one time. But question for you guys: what if, and this is hypothetically speaking, what if Denver comes calling? Do you think he could turn around that whole offense?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he could.
100%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's an option right there. If you think Denver picks up the phone and like just drops a bag.
Pick up the phone, babe.
I mean, the one I think he'd go sprinting to is the LA job.
LA, yeah, for sure. You get to live in LA.
Yeah.
You get Justin Herbert as your quarterback. Like,
dude, yeah.
He's going from Jared Goff to Justin Herbert. Like, I'm free. No, but it's. Oh man, it's scary. It's scary to think about. It really is.
Because I'm looking at some teams like towards the top of the draft. Obviously, meaning they're not doing well this season. The Texans, who just got. I mean, Lovie Smith is in his first year with them, but I mean, obviously they're not scared to fire guys right away. You have the Bears, which I'm assuming they're gonna. I don't know. Actually, I can't say for sure they're gonna stick around with their head coach.
I think they're gonna keep Eberflus for a little bit longer.
You're right. They traditionally do.
This is his first year, right?
Yeah.
For sure. They're not gonna fire him.
That hiring was like a bit of a head scratcher.
And they traded all of their best pieces.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you're right. You're right. They're keeping him. Obviously, the situation in Denver. McVay is staying unless he retires. He's not going to get fired. Saints are in their first year. Panthers going to be available. That's about it. Oh, you know what? Kyler Murray. The Cardinals.
I wouldn't want to be Kyler Murray's coach.
Why can't I think of the hell? What's his name?
Kingsbury.
Cliff Kingsbury.
There you go. He could be on the hot seat. Colts. There's some teams, but I mean, how much do you think like leadership goes into it? Because like looking at like Mike McDaniels heading into this, and obviously I don't know him personally, but like I would never thought
Mike McDaniels is cool as hell.
He is.
He's a cool guy.
And you see all the clips on like Twitter of him like being like
yeah, he's like, you know what we should do?
Yeah.
Should do the one where you get open for a touchdown. I like that one. Yeah. I swear to God, Mike McDaniels just chills with D-Mac before every game.
Oh, for sure.
This dude just gets ripped and goes out there. He's like, let's run a Spider 3 wide banana. And then they do it as touchdowns. Like, yeah.
He's in the locker room.
He's like Ryan Lentz. If Ryan Lentz was a football coach, he'd be Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, but Ryan Lentz doesn't smoke.
Yeah, I know.
Mike McDaniel definitely smokes.
Ryan Lentz. I mean, maybe Mike McDaniels doesn't. He's just got the chill ass personality like Ryan Lentz.
He smokes. He paid his tuition off of selling weed, 100%.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but there is one thing actually, because I was gonna say like how much of like the leadership goes in like hiring a guy as your head coach. You just hire him all of like credibility for like X's and O's, and I guess. I know, man. You know, they can get hired off X's because Matt Patricia was hired as our head coach here. But we're also like the worst franchise and possibly all of sports. I'm sorry. I know Lions fans do listen, but that's just the reality situation. It's kind of true.
Yeah.
But Mike McDaniel, I did see a clip of him. I did see a clip of him on Twitter. He was like, I effed up. Tua, I think it was Kyler Murray. Or,
Tua. Yeah, I've seen that. He's very accountable, and he's got. That's what it is. You don't have to be Dan Campbell to get a head coaching job in the NFL.
That's
I know
actually a perfect
everybody likes that. You don't have to be Dan Campbell. You don't have to be Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
You can be Sean McVay. You can be Kyle Shanahan.
Nerds.
You can be Mike McDaniel, who is like the biggest outlier of it. Like that dude looks like a total nerd, but damn, can he coach some offense? Like can he draw up some schemes? So that's results over flash. You know, results over Gaga. It's the guy is impressive in what he's doing. He's making Tua look like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Fun fact too, I don't know if you guys know, Matt Patricia is the one who hired Ben Johnson into the Detroit Lions organization as tight ends coach. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. And he stayed with Campbell. Yeah, I know, boo that man. But speaking of Dan Campbell, there's obviously been questions about him and his head coaching, and I want to know, I've leaned on a lot of this resurgence due to like the defense and them emerging. We have a whole conversation about that one. Shout out to AG, defend the Glen. But Dan Campbell,
Lions fans,
do you think he's improved or has been coaching different too? You think that's a part of it as well? Because like
Dan Campbell, yeah, he's definitely been coaching differently. He's improved. He's learned from some of his mistakes. I talked about it. They're the least penalized team in the NFL in the past 5 weeks. So the guy is going out there. He's making sure that they are being prepared and being disciplined in what they're doing. His clock management has gotten better. He's not just going for it on every fourth down. He's taking points in situations when it's probably a good idea to take points. Maybe that is the confidence of having, Michael Badgley back there who can actually knock down some kicks, or he is learning from the mistakes of his past, from the sins of his fathers. Like the guy is going forward. He is learning on the job. He is making better decisions, and it's a good thing to see. He's still not technically sound when it comes to clock management. There are still some questionable things that he makes decisions on, but he's getting better, and that's what you can ask for out of a second-year coach, out of a guy who has never done this before. Is you want him to improve week by week, and that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, I think because the one thing I noticed too is like, the fourth down attempts, they've slowed down quite a bit.
Yes.
Like he's actually like kicking field goals with those opportunities rather than going for it. And I get that like some of the scenarios, like I guess in judging that as like we're winning in these games, you don't necessarily have to go for the fourth down. We aren't down double digits at that point because again the defense has gotten better. But I thought this was an interesting stat. During the 4-1 win streak that we're on right now, we're 66% on a fourth down conversions with only 6 attempted. Mm-hmm. The 5 games prior to that, 17 times Dan Campbell called the go for it on fourth down, and he only converted 8 of them, all totaling to the 47%. Mm-hmm. But again, they're different scenarios too. Like, I think a lot of this resurgence is due to the defense. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think he's got some confidence and money badger too.
The resurgence is majority because they traded T.J. Hockenson. Like, that's all that was wrong with this nonsense.
I'm saying, because this is a big thing for Dan Campbell heading into this week too against the Vikings. This is the game where he fumbled the bag at the beginning of the year. Are you confident he learned from that mistake?
I see. It's tough because on one hand you got to give Dan Campbell credit because what were we looking for this season for market real improvement, and they've done it. We're talking about this team in playoffs at this point. I think at this point 8 wins is probably their floor. And going from 3 to 8 wins as a head coach is huge. And you see a guy like Ben Johnson, he's succeeding under Dan Campbell. Aaron Glenn has made improvements as the year has went on, and so have a lot of the players. They've gotten healthier. So yeah, Dan Campbell deserves a lot of the credit for the team's resilience after being 1-6, going all the way to 5-7 and talking about playoffs. The one thing that does concern me a little bit is the clock management. I don't think he handled the clock very well at the end of the first half or the second half of the Buffalo game, and I don't think he put the Lions in the best position to win that game with his clock management. Obviously, the Vikings game, that was egregious.
Yeah.
And we all know that. We all know that the Lions should have won that game. Hell, they probably should have won the Buffalo game, and Dan Campbell helped kind of fumbled away with his coaching decision. So I'm very, very happy with how the team is playing. They're playing hard. They're playing disciplined. Dan Campbell's not going for it as much. He's taking points when need be. But at the same time, I want to see him in a close game with a lot on the line. Him just run the game right and not fumble it away. Am I confident he'll be able to do it? Let's just say I'm more confident now than I was a few weeks ago. And I think that in and of itself is a testament to Dan Campbell and the cachet he's gotten from winning games as a head coach.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, the Minnesota was the game. I've always been like, well, all these people, I've held the flag for house patience, but the Minnesota game, I lost it. We had that Ravens video of the Ravens fan punching the pumpkin and going psycho. Yeah. I was like, probably 25% of that. I was pretty pissed off.
Yeah, it was a tough loss. You had it in the grasp of your hands. It would have changed kind of the trajectory of the Lions season if you win that game.
And lately he's looking worth his money.
Yes.